Good morning, ladies. My name is Wandile Bilwane. I work with women. I run a company called For Women. I run leadership and enterprise development programs at community level for women. And what I most admire about these women is pretty much the same things that we mentioned earlier. Resilience, they've mastered that dancing in the rain. Unconventional women. I will come there with my business mindset thinking I'm coming to see them for an hour. And I will leave 5 hours later having met women in the whole community and having eaten and been fed and their spirit of giving as well is amazing and it's special. So yeah, that's about me, and I'm enjoying already this morning also. I think there's just something in the air I was so excited about this morning. I think we attend so many of these functions, but this morning I think I felt was special. And thank you for this opportunity to do. I'm enjoying it already. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Busi Madolo. I'm South African. I spent my formative years in Swaziland, so I think until I was 16. I made my living working in the health space in a mining company, and as you all know that we've still got a lot of hurt and a lot of bruising and a lot of building to do for the people that work in that industry. So there's lots of challenges, HIV/AIDS being one of them, and many other issues, and the opportunity to work in communities to try to build bridges. What I admire about women in South Africa, I think, is their wisdom and the ability to, despite all the things that set us back, to be able to say, for my children, for my family, I will do this. Regardless of what type of men we end up with, we always try to push the families forward.
Good morning. My name is Tamani Matebula, proudly South African. Okay, what do I do for a living? I'm in the human capital space. I had organization development and learning for SA Express. SA Express, not SAA. Just needed to clarify that. What I admire about the women in South Africa is most of them have already been said. But I just like our sense of humor. We can laugh at anything, and that just keeps us going. And at one point in my life, I got an advice from a white Afrikaner man, and he said to me, Tamani, no matter what you do in life, as you climb the corporate ladder, don't ever forget that you're a woman. Always embrace your femininity. And this is what I see in most companies. When there is a woman in the boardroom, there is a difference, and that is what I admire.
Morning, everybody. Morning, ladies. My name is Linda Mtenjane, and I've known Dudu since we were 6 years old. She slept next to me. We were in boarding school. She was in the bed next to me. And I just want to confirm or affirm what Vilma's saying, that throughout all these years, since we were 6 years old, our lives have intersected, and she's always been there for me. So, yeah, thanks, Dudu. What I admire about South African women, because I am a South African, is what all of you have said around the table. I mean, our mothers did not have the opportunities to be what we are, which are slashies. So I'm a psychologist, I am a social edu-entrepreneur, and I'm a mother and a wife. So our mothers, I was raised by a single woman, and she raised 4 professional people, and that is what I admire. A lot of my friends were also raised by single mothers. We currently have quite a huge social problem around women headed household. But when you look at the children that come out of that, they are absolutely amazing, because women are able somehow to straddle both roles. It's not ideal, but they do it. So I admire that. What takes up a lot of my time outside of the clinical work as a psychologist is establishing low-cost private schools. That's our contribution. That's my
morning, ladies. My name is Matsila Bansi. I work for the Sanlam Emerging Markets. And I'm a South African born and bred. What I like about South African, by the way, firstly, what do I do for a living, to earn my living? I keep on saying I ensure that we embrace each other and we collaborate as Africans, because I work for the emerging markets, as I mentioned. And what I admire about South African women is the fact that I think all has been said, as you've mentioned already. But I think I like the sentence, I'm every woman. I think that says it all. I mean, you can be the Mother Teresa's of the world if you want to. You can be the Zanele Mbeki of the world. You can be the Diana Ross. You can shake it up. So I think we do it everything. So that's what I like about us as South African women. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Lorena from Argentina. What I do for a living for the last 14 years is internet e-commerce and social media, which is been great for me, helping a lot of people doing selling and buying online, especially when they don't have the possibility to move or they have some disease or something that they can't do that in person. So when they can do that online, it's great for me. And after the program, I could say no. I get very involved with all of mentoring programs in Latin America, especially with SMEs, small and medium enterprises, and helping women around Latin America and the world to develop their businesses through e-commerce. So I've been very focused on that. And what I really like from Argentina is a really incredible country. But you know, we have some individuals like Messi or the Pope. Of course, we are very proud of them, but it's like, I feel if it's happened, it's because there were some mothers there taking care, of course, and raising great people, but we were like a lot like individuals. So what I'm experiencing now is a group of women trying to make it a group and not such an individual society. So when women come back from the Fortune program to Argentina, we work together. We are 10 already, and we are working very, very closely. And I think it's started to happen in every field in our country, not to focus on such an individuals, although they are great. We are very proud, but just having a sense of community and group and work together. Thank you.
It's a privilege to be in this morning. My name is Dayton Wogbo from Nigeria. I'm born outside Nigeria. I'm a mother of four. And, I started my career in the human capital space as well, but 6 years ago I pioneered a social enterprise focused on getting youth work ready against the challenges in the education sector in our country. And I'm not sure I'm earning enough doing that. But what I love about the women in my country, I'll just share very briefly an experience that we had during the Fortunate mentoring program. We were quite concerned, Tara and I, about the perception about Nigerians. And then we had a session where Vital Voices talked about the power of women and how women are shaping development in the world. And the two women that came up as examples were Nigerians. So the lady was with Kujola, who was at the World Bank. So, we're intelligent, we're feisty, we know how to multitask. There are not enough of us doing it. And I'm a student of development right now, trying to see how we invest in young women, get women to, voice, the potential that we definitely have. And I'm quite excited to be here. Thank you, Judy, for pulling this off.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's great to have you all here. I've known Dudu for about, 6, 7, 8 years. I haven't counted, but I'm very lucky to know her. My name is Alta Walker. I work for one of the big manufacturing corporates in South Africa who makes cement, and I look after the technical innovation in the company. So it's a great platform to help young women and young people develop their potential. And what I love most about South African women is that we do not know what the word impossible means.
like we were talking about the weather. This is like, no, I went in and killed them, and the girl was cheating on my friend, and my friend was like my brother, so we had to go sort them out. And I was so convinced about the need for the organization that I founded, which is primarily based on talking to young people, ideally find them at that transition where they're going into teenagehood and there's hormones and they're trying to understand things about themselves, and talk about emotions. Because I say to them, everybody talks about everything else. There's an NGO for education, there's an NGO for engineers, there's an NGO for practical stuff, but no one talks about the connection between the things we feel and how they can hinder or allow us to become. So that's essentially our focus. The things I like about South African women, I'm gonna have to come down to South African women because essentially I love women all over the world. Adia, I think, spoke first from Pakistan. Palestine. Okay, because I thought you said Pakistan, and as you said, we have great women. I wanted to get up and say, yes, I agree, because in my work, I've spoken to the few Pakistani women. I suppose I haven't spoken to anyone from Palestine, but they were fantastic. And because we have assumptions about Nigerian women, and we have all these labels we attach to them, and then you meet them and the phenomenal stuff that they do, and then you realize that it's just women all over the world. About South African women, I admire the fact that in 20 years of freedom, the time has produced CEOs, media moguls, but in the same breath, you have people who are left behind, the parents who are the parents of that boy I spoke to 2 days ago, who have no chance of getting access to an education, will never, ever travel outside of where they were born. So I admire that ability of South African women to bring together the achievers and the ones who are ambitious, and the ones who are still on the ground and still have so much to be taught and have require exposure to other ways of being. And when you bring us together in a room, we're able to be one and talk the same language. And that's what I admire about South African women. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Zanette Mpamba, originally from Swaziland, now South African. I grew up in the States and Kenya, so diversity is one of the things I really enjoy about South Africa. What I do for a career, I'm in marketing. What I love about South Africans is, as the advert says from my brand South African Days, inspiring new ways. It's always nice to travel internationally and just see the things which we take to the rest of the world. I think, diversity and crossing borders is now just transparent. I always think back to growing up when you used to have to ring through various cities, and now to get a phone call internationally, and now everything is just transparent. And that's what I enjoy about South Africa and the life we get to live here, and the life which is made possible by women who run Big We.
Hello everybody, my name is Lola, I'm also from Argentina. I work in the marketing for beers in South Miller, actually, with these South African breweries, and you know that. But after my experience with the Fortune in 2010, with my friends, I sensed that I wanted to do something else for my society. I feel that I'm an agent of change. And although it cost me a little bit, this year I started to have meetings with people from the political arena. So last week I was with a recently elected congressman who wanted to meet me and to see what my intentions in the political area are. And I'm like super afraid. I'm freaking out because after 10 years of being in a corporation and doing marketing and having a name and being respected, now I have the possibility to go to play into the politics, and I'm like really afraid. But I think that I was listening to you talk, and I had a talk in my house on Monday and Tuesday with the members of the Fortune in Argentina, And they all told me, like, go do it, you're 33, I mean, go, and if you just, if you repent, you can go back to what you're doing. Which is true. It still doesn't, it's not an easy decision, but I hear you speak, and I get inspiration, and I said, I have to go for this. I have to be. So maybe, who knows? I mean, I know that God puts and makes everything for a reason. He doesn't make dices. So maybe I hope to be in the 10 or 20 years to come a relevant actor in my country, and I would like to.
Also, so I suppose as you're speaking and you say, I know to like, but you're talking about me. I'd really like to thank this young lady. You know, often we don't appreciate each other as women, but it's so true what Dudu said. She always comes to your rescue. You speak to her, she says tomorrow, and it gets done. Please give her a round of applause. Dudu means comforter for those who don't know. In full it means to do it. Somehow we have these names, we follow them. And I know that as mothers, we are the ones who are at the forefront in terms of pushing for certain names. We need to be very careful because we follow those names. So if you give your child a name that is not so right, they will follow them. So you have to fight and make sure that our kids don't get names that are not so. I know culturally sometimes the same is the great-grandmothers, and if you get to know who that great-grandmother was, and how they were, your child will turn up like that. So you need to be very, very careful about that. My career sort of has followed that path as well. I'm in community development now, but I've been in the city for almost 20 years. So I'm sort of linked with the democracy story that we then came into government, we changed agents, etc., etc. And the work that I do now is such that I have to knock at doors for all of you women in government. Sometimes I have to sit and listen to people talk about things that have got nothing to do with me. But I have to pick up that phone and say, hey, so and so, I'm sending this young lady there. Please take care of her. And I've sort of thought community work is about everything else that nobody wants to do. So that's the job that I do. I have a box of tissues in my office. Those who want to cry, please do so. Monday afternoon, Wednesday, I'm there just for that. I don't have broad shoulders. I don't cry that often. I'll tell you why. Because if I decide to cry, you are in big trouble. I will plan to get on top of the table and deal with you ruthlessly at my own time. I have learned because I grew up in my grandmother's house. And I was the youngest, the first grandchild. But as I'm playing outside and somebody hits me or takes my doll or does whatever, the boys in the house will say, go and fight for yourself. I still have the spirit now. I manage it differently. The emotional part and the intelligence part is very important. But I find that a lot of the things you've said about what we admire in women, whether it's South Africa or Nigeria or wherever, I have found that there's a common thread. We're all the same as women. At a human level, we're the same. But I've found one common thread I don't like about us. All the things you talk about, we give it to everybody else except ourselves. We do everything for everybody else except ourselves. So I'm really giving you a challenge today. You must start with yourself first. Be selfish about it. You know, I have workshops like Spirit does, women across the board, mostly the downtrodden, mostly the vulnerable, young girls, young boys who are vulnerable. if you don't place yourself first on the table to say, people don't value you. And later on, we become so angry. But I give so much, I do so much. We say that to our boyfriends, our husbands, our children. But what we emulate, what we teach them to do, is for them not to value us. You know, I'm in a session now with a group of women who their kids have grown up, they have left, and others had husbands who left them, and they feel that nobody values them. But we've taught people to love. And so I'm really challenging you today, when you earn your salary, tell people this portion of the money comes to me first. Whatever is left, you guys can tell me what you want to do with them. If the money gets finished, because that man, it's about you, and you're going to Cape Town, and you're going to Johannesburg, or wherever. You say, no, there's no money, all the money is finished, because I took all of it for myself. So please learn to be selfish about yourself. That's the only thing you have outside everything else. So that is very, very important. Just teach people to value. And don't go later on and say, they don't value me, they don't love me. You must love yourself first. They will then learn to love you. I think you're all beautiful today. Please give yourselves a round of applause.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Pamela Mfobo. I work for the U.S. mission in South Africa, that is the U.S. Embassy, but I am based at the consulate in Senegal. For all those South African women who have never been there, just visit us. We welcome you there and find out what is it that we do. The fact that I am paid in South African rands tells you that I'm a South African. What I love about South African women is that they are fighters, at the same time they are nation builders. Thank you, I love you. Thank you for inviting me.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Sidi, Maxidi Sokwa. Everybody calls me Sidi. Ramorobim Sikini. I've known Dudu as Matu because she's my little niece. Thank you, Dudu, for having invited me here. I've gotten to understand who you are. You know, as family, you never. When I just see Dudu, I just see my Nadu. But now when I hear all this wonderful work she has done, we are so proud of you. What is it that I like about South African women? Actually, I mustn't say South African women. I must just say as African women. We are very passionate, and the family thread that, who mentioned the family, it's work first and then the family, the family comes together. As we are here, I now take it that we are family, because when my daughter goes to Palestine, she has somebody to call for. So this is the way we've always operated, that as long as there is somebody who knows somebody you know your child is okay. What do I do for a living? I'm an entrepreneur first. I've just recently gotten involved with the Gauteng Department of Health. I'm with this project of the National Health Insurance because our government realized that the health costs were really getting far to be expensive. So now we are trying to have every South African to be covered by the universal coverage. I think that is That is me in short. And thank you, Dudu, for having given us a lesson of being selfish, because I'm one of those who never thinks of my first. But as from today, I commit. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Shafira Msikinyam. I'm a Tiso's daughter. So I'm very young and very privileged to be here. Thank you, Sister June. As what I make for an earning, I'm still a student, but I do have a part-time job at a primary school. And next year, I have a dream of having my own swimming school. So I plan on getting qualified this year, and then I want to teach underprivileged children how to swim. Because I'm a swimmer myself, and I believe every child should know how to swim. What I love about women, not just South African women, they are very resilient and they're strong, and they don't take no for an answer. And that's what I love about them. And the women in my family have told me, don't take no for an answer. If you believe you can do it, then do it. And Sis Dudu, what you said about being selfish, I've been telling my mother that for the past 3 years. Because she gives and she gives and she gives, and I've always told her, be selfish. You need to love yourself first. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. I think we're almost in the afternoon now. We started in the morning. As everyone knows, I'm Superior Sachore. I am actually I'm a marketer, I'm a communicator, I'm a public relations person. I've done everything under communication. And up until the 31st of December, I was a marketing practitioner at Sanlam for the past 5 years, working in emerging markets with Matsila. And I've traveled in many African countries that fall under the emerging markets, the rest of Africa. And India was there, but I never got the chance to go there. So from January 1st, I became responsible for what is called stakeholder relations, which I knew nothing about. I'm trying to make the best out of the situation. I hope that after a year or so, I'll continue this role or I'll look into something that's more exciting within the group. And that's the beauty of working for a big organization, because from time to time you just decide, I'm tired, please guys, give me something else, or I'll look somewhere else. What I really admire about South African women, and women in general, is our ability to just give advice unsolicited. Whether you're shopping, find yourself in a shopping center, trying to buy something, a particular brand, and somebody tells you about something and how to cook the stuff. And suddenly you're walking out there with the recipe. Or you're like looking for something that is kind of more expensive here, and she's like, oh my dear, and we share, and sometimes I find myself following a total stranger. We met at a shop buying, looking for something, and she tells me there's another shop down the road, let's go there. And we then jump into the other person's car, and suddenly when we buy this, becoming shopping buddies, which is very exciting because again it helps us to save money in many ways. I think if you're open to speak to people, when people look at you, and whether it's in a lift or something, say, hi, how are you? And you don't feel like, what's wrong with this person? Mind your own business. So I find that very exciting, that I can just strike a conversation with anyone. I can give women in the Eastern Cape or in Mpumalanga a lift and just have company and learn something out of them, because I always say that English is a language, it's not knowledge. And no matter how well you speak, it doesn't mean that you know so much. And I think I learned a lot from a lot of those women that cannot speak English but can express themselves in their own African languages, and I like that. And one of the things that I've done while working in emerging markets was to learn the proper greetings each time I went to a country. So if I went to Malawi, or what I was supposed to eat and order, so I made sure that if I'm in Malawi, I order chambo, I order chukwachu kwachu, and I practice to go to Zambia, what am I going to eat? So I find that very, very fascinating, and I think it makes you a true global citizen. That you're not bothered what happens if you have to migrate or move somewhere tomorrow. It does really become quite uncomfortable. And that's all that I want to say. Thank you so much.